Much like his pet, Donald Trump, Elon Musk wants you to believe that he's a self-made man, an independent thinker, a disruptor of the status quo, and brilliant. Um, Here's a reality, though. Musk has been one of the biggest beneficiaries of Donald's regime, raking in billions while pretending to be some sort of anti-establishment renegade and genius. The worst part is he's still trying to play both sides. I also I just want to point out this started long before. Like his companies had billions in government contracts during the Biden administration as well. Gee, wish we could have done something about that then. I want you to take a look at something that's truly baffling. As reported by the New York Times, this is just a glimpse of all of the agencies currently investigating Elon Musk's businesses. Just check to see if any of these look familiar to you. Of course they do, because one of the first things Donald did in office was to purge, or at least give Musk the authority to purge regulatory agencies like these, the very agencies that are investigating Musk's company. Since 2017, at least 32 ongoing federal investigations into Musk's empire have been stalled or outright buried, which seems pretty convenient to me. Here's Representative Greg Kassar speaking some truths at the inaugural DOGE subcommittee hearing.
At least 5 inspector generals that were looking into Elon Musk's companies were fired by the Trump-Musk administration. These inspector generals, who are independent, protected by law, they are the people that find the waste, fraud, and abuse and found many of the cases of waste, fraud, and abuse that have been brought up today, fired because they were looking into Elon Musk.
Rep. Kassar is talking about agencies like the Federal Aviation Agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the National Labor Relations Board, the ones meant to oversee workplace safety, financial regulations, and labor laws. Not surprising. Donald fired 3 executives of the National Labor Relations Board that were investigating Twitter, SpaceX, and Tesla. And remember, the dismantling of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau by crony and Project 2025 so-called mastermind Voight was also no accident. The CFPB database was housing hundreds of complaints about Tesla regarding loan problems or debt collection. This agency would have also been responsible for regulating Musk's attempt at bringing payment services to Twitter, ensuring any consumer would be protected from any false practices. What did Elon Musk have to say about the actual death and dismantling of this extraordinarily important pro-consumer agency? CFPB RIP, because he's an asshole. Then there's the SEC lawsuit. Musk was caught underpaying $150 million in Twitter stock transactions. The fine, well, thanks to Donald and the reshuffling of the SEC, it might as well just be a slap on the wrist. Instead of facing any real accountability, which is a running theme in the Trump regime, whether for himself or his businesses, Musk gets a pass because that's what happens if you're a really, really rich, insipid, mediocre white guy and happen to be in Donald's orbit. Donald's regime didn't just look the other way. It actively dismantled the oversight that was keeping Musk in check to the extent it was. With agencies out of the way, Donald has outlined a clear path for Musk to grow even richer, all on the government's dime, and presumably with Donald getting some massive kickbacks. Before we go further, please take a second to like and share this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And after you have, just click the bell and you will be sure to be alerted when new episodes drop. So Musk has 6 major companies under his belt, from Tesla to SpaceX to Neuralink, and somehow he has managed to score over $13 billion in federal contracts. Yes, $13 billion. And now he's overseeing government spending through the illegal and unconstitutional Department of Government Efficiency, which he leads without any legitimate authority whatsoever. I think the term conflict of interest springs to mind here, because, and actually that probably doesn't even go far enough. This is well beyond being a simple conflict of interest. This is grift. This is corruption on scales heretofore unseen in the federal government. So Musk is able to rake in just untold amounts of wealth from the government while disseminating claims like this to the American people.
Well, we just take a look at all the federal agencies and say, do we really need whatever it is, 428 federal agencies? And then we need some kind of, we just need a review of regulations to say which ones are sensible and which ones are not. Because if you've got regulators every year, they're going to add more regulations, just automatic, like they just output regulations. And there's more laws and regulations every year until basically everything's legal, so we can't get anything done. So we need some kind of garbage collection for regulations that don't make sense.
How would you know? How would you know? All you know is that there are regulations existing that are interfering with your ability to make money in ways that hurt other people. That's what regulations are for, to keep assholes like you from making money on the backs of other people who do not have a say and do not have any power. Musk, of course, is getting sneakier at hiding the ways in which he's dipping his hand in the proverbial many, many cookie jars. This week, the U.S. State Department recently pulled Tesla's name from a $400 million armored EV procurement plan. Let's watch.
An expected $400 million purchase of so-called armored Teslas. It didn't specify what model, but Tesla's stainless steel Cybertruck could be an option. After reports circulated of the lucrative federal contract, the State Department document was edited. The word Tesla was removed. It now says the $400 million purchase is for, quote, armored electric vehicles. Musk has been questioned over conflicts of interest in the White House, given he runs 6 companies with large federal contracts. In response to the Tesla purchase, Musk said on X that it is a lie.
Oh, because of course he's telling the truth. He never tells the truth. By the way, if there's an apocalypse, the last place I want to be is in that fucking soda can. Okay, so yeah, Tesla was listed in the original December 2024 document alongside BMW's armored X5 and X7. But they decided to remove Tesla right before things went public. I guess that was an accident. Now, Musk denies ever knowing anything about this $400 million contract, and he posted on Twitter that he was, quote unquote, pretty sure Tesla wasn't getting it, which is hysterical because I know that $400 million to him is an insignificant, meaningless sum of money, but it probably isn't to his shareholders. So he has no credibility here. And of course, nothing says trustworthy like pretending you're totally unaware of a multi-million-dollar government contract in your company's pipeline. Either that or he's just a really terrible businessman. But I believe both things can be true at once. Look at Donald. Okay, so no matter, Donald is going to continue to defend Elon because Elon is yet another one of his puppet masters. He claimed that Musk not personally benefiting from his role and insists that Musk is handling his own conflicts of interest, which sounds perfect.
Elon is doing a great job. He's finding tremendous fraud and corruption and waste. You see it with the USAID, but you're going to see it even more so with other agencies. And no, he's doing a very good job. I'm very happy with him.
Yeah, very happy with him because he's making me richer than I've ever been in my life. So, I mean, I too wish that I could be in charge of my own conflicts of interest, but, that's really not how the world's supposed to work. And now we're expecting that a billionaire who's running 6 government contract companies, overseeing government spending is just going to make his own decisions about whether or not he's crossing any red lines. Sure. Totally cool. And then, of course, there's Musk's takeover of Twitter, which has become a breeding ground for fascism and hate speech. Since he took over, I think it feels like several millennia, but I think it's been 2 years. Hate speech has spiked 50%. Transphobic slurs up 260%. Homophobic posts, 30%. Racist content, 42%. And this is what Musk had to say about that.
Hate speech on the platform is up. Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Democrats?
I don't have to answer these questions.
The Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think? Do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
When Musk took over Twitter, he claimed he was a free speech absolutist. But instead of fixing the problems around the edges, he gutted moderation policies, reinstated extremists, and blamed the quote unquote woke mind virus because he's a child. And now researchers are saying that the platform's lack of transparency makes it harder even to track how bad things really are. It's almost like Musk doesn't want us to know what's really going on, right? Like how bad his business model is and how steeped in fascist trolls his social media platform is. Even Musk's own AI tool is proving him wrong. Grok, which is an AI system that reports, potentially fallacious or dangerous content, studies show that at least 64% of Twitter accounts are bots. And that's from Musk's own AI system. They also warned that this is going to push users away from Twitter to other platforms like Blue Sky. So if Musk is allowed to roam free away from government, the oversight of government agencies and overrun a once beloved social media platform, and trust me, it was, how is he going to pay? Well, this is where things get interesting. Musk's reckless political alignment is destroying Tesla's brand. Sales are collapsing across Europe because Europeans actually understand what's going on. In Germany, they're down 59.5%, which is said to be correlated to his backing of the Nazi party, the AfD party. In France, they're down 63%. In Norway, they're down 38%. In the UK, they're down 8%. Come on, UK, do better. Meanwhile, in China, Tesla is losing ground to BYD, a company that is essentially eating Tesla's lunch with cheaper, more advanced electric vehicles. And here's why. China refuses to approve Musk's full self-driving software. And without it, Tesla just cannot compete. Musk thought that cozying up to Donald would secure his global dominance. Instead, it's kind of making him persona non grata everywhere except here for some reason. And it isn't just sales. Consumers are actively distancing themselves from the brand. Some Tesla owners are slapping bumper stickers on their cars saying, quote, "I bought this before Elon went crazy." Don't tag those people. They didn't know. It was an honest mistake. It does not stop with just a bumper sticker. It turns out that owning Tesla has become a liability. In Vienna, Teslas are being defaced with swastikas. In California, Tesla owners are getting threats to sell their cars or face vandalism. Guys, don't do that, though. That's not cool. Put a swastika on it? Well, don't do that either, actually. Just protest in a way that's peaceful and not harmful to the people you think you're trying to protect, okay? In Loveland, Colorado, a Tesla dealership was hit with an arson attack. Also, don't do that. Take a look at this.
New at 11, a case of vandalism in Northwest Portland caught on camera with a suspect targeting a Tesla and an owner who thinks the culprit wanted to send a political message. Alma McCarty has the story.
The video shows the vandal covering his face, writing something on the hood of a car.
That happened in broad daylight. I mean, he was brazen.
And Tim Tees says the culprit targeted his Tesla, parked in his Northwest Portland driveway on a quiet neighborhood street.
During Super Bowl Sunday, while I was up watching the game, my son and I were watching the football game. I showed you the video, they spray painted my car.
When Tees went to investigate, he discovered the word Nazi written in red. And he thinks there's a connection to Tesla CEO Elon Musk, who's now serving President Trump.
Serving. Okay, I think you guys got that wrong. But look, remember Teslas when they first came out were considered like lefty cars because they were electric vehicles. And, that's not a right-wing brand. Right-wing, technically speaking or historically speaking, Republicans like gas guzzling things like pickup trucks and Humvees. But, that's not the case anymore. So we're in the situation where, again, people who own Teslas might have bought them back in those days because it was marketed as an eco-friendly luxury vehicle, and pretty much only people left give a shit about the environment in this country. Now, Cybertrucks, on the other hand, there is literally no excuse for you.
Just look at the vandalism to this $100,000 Tesla Cybertruck. Dozens of Cybertrucks at a parking lot in Fort Lauderdale were spray painted with a vulgar term directed at Tesla owner Elon Musk. Some vandals recorded themselves in the act. Across the USA, owners of the distinctive-looking vehicles say they're being targeted by strangers. Cybertruck owners are being flipped off in traffic. Angry protesters stormed a Tesla dealership in New York City. And look, this Tesla driver flips the bird at them. There are also lots of videos online of people reacting to Cybertrucks.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
$100,000 for that. Wow. This is not just a boycott anymore. This is a full-blown rejection of Musk and everything he represents. So let's summarize. Musk is benefiting massively from the Trump regime. He's dodged regulations for years. He's secured billions of dollars in government contracts, and he's made themselves the gatekeeper of government efficiency. In the process, though, he's tanked his own company's reputation. Tesla's bleeding market shares, investors are questioning his leadership, so-called, and even his most loyal customers are distancing themselves. For all of his supposed, alleged, and genius, which is not at all in evidence, Musk has made one fatal mistake. He overestimated how much people are willing to tolerate his nonsense, his cupidity, and his fascism. And now, finally, he's paying the price. The question is, will it be enough? Please take a second and like and share this video. Be awesome if you could subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please follow us and give the show a 5-star rating because it really does help other people find our content. Thanks.